episode 66 of the We Were Athletes Once podcast. My name is Kyle. I am joined by Cody.
What's up, everybody?
And the World Baseball Classic just ended. It was very interesting. There was a lot of wildness throughout it, a lot of big upsets, a lot of odd decisions, and we're gonna get into a lot of that. But Venezuela. Before we get into all the nonsense from earlier in it, Venezuela ends up winning, beating the U.S. final by a score of 3-2. This is their first World Baseball Classic win, the fourth country to win one. I don't know, Cody. What were your thoughts on the Classic and on Venezuela as a whole?
I thought Venezuela had a pretty decent team. I didn't like their pitching staff very much, so I struggled to see them doing this because of that. But they pitched well, and I think overall they probably had the fourth most talented team out there. And honestly, I was shocked when they upset Japan, and then to see them hold down the fort like they did against the U.S. and give up that lead, but then end up taking it home. It was a good game. There's some very big issues with some of the teams that we saw, but ultimately we were just talking before this. I hate the timing of the World Baseball Classic. You don't get all of the best players because teams won't allow them, or they don't want to get hurt, or they're still working up. Like I want to see, in that U.S. Italy game, I want to see Paul Skeens and Aaron Nola go at it like for 7-8 innings if they can. I don't want to see 3 or 4 innings because they're on a pitch count. So I hate everything about when it is. I wish that we could do this postseason after everything's over. So those guys that want to play, they've got the whole offseason to recover. They don't have to worry about injury. They're already stretched out. I want to see a change to this because I want to see the best players, and we left a lot of the best players at home.
Yeah, and I'm looking at like the WBC roster for Venezuela right now, and like there's a couple like big league mainstays on there. I mean, Ranger Suarez is on there, Antonio Senzatella, Eduardo Rodriguez, who we saw in the championship game. But yeah, you're right. Outside of that, there's not a whole lot of firepower. And there's a few guys on this roster that didn't even pitch. But yeah, this is not necessarily the team, not even just the pitching staff, but the team that you would expect to be a team that beats Japan, who had won 3 out of the first 5, or a team to beat the USA. And I think the USA, they had a lot of opportunities to, I guess, prove why they are a superpower in this tournament, but a lot of the times they came up short. Obviously they lost to Italy earlier on in the Classic. They lost here, and there was a while where it looked like they weren't even going to get out of pool play.
They almost didn't.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on the USA?
It's hard because there was a lot of good things out of the U.S. that we saw, but then when it mattered most, bats went silent, and the biggest bats went silent. As far as the positives, I thought overall U.S. pitching was pretty solid. Paul Skeens shoved, man, he looked good, and he proved why he's going to make $70 million for the Yankees or the Dodgers in a couple of years. But there was a lot of good in their pitching. Man, Bobby Witt Jr. just proved he is the best fielder on planet Earth right now. He looked sensational. But it seemed like the U.S. either hit home runs or they couldn't hit the ball to save their lives. Aaron Judge is an absolute disappearing act when things got tough. Same with Kyle Schwarber. So your 3-4 are basically over with 7 strikeouts. Like, what are you going to do with that? I know the rest of your lineup is pretty loaded and they should pick up the slack. But when your middle of the order bats who are seeing the most at bats aren't producing at all, not even making contact, that's a problem. So I don't know what it is with the U.S. here. I don't know if it's just we're not in regular season form. Um, but for me, like there was a lot of good things. I thought most of the fielding was good. I thought most of the pitching was good. It all came down to the bats, and they weren't good.
Yeah, and I mean, I think there's a lot of factors that went into this year's disappointment, as is a lot of the past few years. Obviously, they won in 2017, but you argue they should have won in 2023. Do you argue they should have won this year? You could probably argue that they should have won every single World Baseball Classic to this point, or at least like a good chunk. That 2013 Dominican Republic team that won, they were loaded, but like the USA is supposed to be a team in this World Baseball Classic that at this point should have more than one win.
Yeah, and one other thing that I don't know, it bothered me a little bit. Um, we're playing in the U.S., right? These are home games for us. And when I looked in the stands, they were dominated by whatever country we're playing. Like we were completely outclassed when it came to the fans there for the support. I don't necessarily think that played a role, but I think it kind of shows the passion the other countries had for this, where I don't necessarily feel like the U.S. had that. Like this meant the world. Like I could probably bet there were some MLB players in there that was like, I would rather win this than a World Series just because of what it means to their country. Like this is their Olympic gold. And they played like that. They played their hearts out. They gave everything they had. And the US didn't look completely interested all the time.
Yeah, and there were guys that flat out said that too. Julio Rodriguez said, "I would rather win the World Baseball Classic than win the World Series," which is a good thing that he thinks that because he plays for the Mariners. Uh,
They're
but
gonna get one.
uh, but like I think that's how it feels for a lot of these countries. With how much baseball means to countries like Venezuela and like the Dominican Republic. Japan basically baseball is considered like a martial art form. Uh, and they think about it so much differently than how every other country thinks about it. And you see the fun and the flair that these other countries, specifically the Latin countries, play with. You don't see that with the USA. I saw a reel on Instagram where it's the USA versus the Dominican Republic in that game, and the guy was on the mound acting like he was one of the DR pitchers, and struck a guy out and was doing everything that you see from like every celebration in the book that you see a player from the Dominican Republic do, and then you turn 5 seconds later and you see him acting like he's a U.S. pitcher striking out one of the Dominican hitters, and he's just walking off the mound, business as usual. And I think that is a problem with how America views baseball and how it views the World Baseball Classic in terms of who is willing to actually play. Because, you know, I think that was a huge issue with 2023. We had Lance Lynn and Merrill Kelly as some of the better pitchers, and 40-year-old Adam Wainwright.
And those are 3, 4, 5 type guys.
Yeah, and those were some of the best pitchers that were on the roster. I can't think of exactly what the 2023 pitching staff looked like, but that's a problem that I can't think of that. And this year there were even a lot of guys that stepped out. Mike Trout was the captain of the 2023 team, and he decided not to play in 2026. Um, it, and even Bryce Harper, who was the starting first baseman on the team, said, I think if this was the Olympics, I would view this as a bigger deal, but I don't necessarily view it as that for the World Baseball Classic. And I don't think the US is really going to be a superpower like you see Japan winning
Let,
3 out of 6.
no, let me read you our starting pitchers from 2023. Jason Adam, Daniel Bard, David Bednar, Nestor Cortez, Kendall Graveman, Merrill Kelly, Clayton Kershaw, old Clayton Kershaw, Lance Lynn, Miles Michaelis, Adam Ottavino, Ryan Presley, Brooks Raley, Brady Singer, Adam Wainwright, and Devin Williams. That's pathetic.
Yeah, there's some good relievers in that list, but there's not an ace in there. Like you said, Merrill Kelly is might be the
Was the
best
best pitcher.
in there, and he is a three. Lance
Poor
Lynn
man's two at best.
Lance Lynn might have a conversation going in 2023 of being the best pitcher on that roster, and he was a 4 or a 5. And
And Clayton Kershaw's always hurt and
yeah, and it was
was.
going. Adam Wainwright was great the previous few seasons, but he showed that 2023 that was really it for him.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was bad, and I think again, just based off of a lot of the comments that I saw, it shows the passion that other countries have and the desire to win over what America has.
100%.
I hope that changes if in 2028 when the Olympics come around, that
And
they actually want to win a gold medal.
and it was what annoys me about it is we just saw the Olympics. They came in wearing like USA hockey jerseys. They were watching the women and the men's beat Canada and have this big celebration and like this whole thing, and they're like rallying around that, and then they come with no effort. Like how do you want to rally behind these teams that just put their heart and souls on the line, and then you play like that? Come on. Like this is for your country. I don't understand it. As a former athlete, I don't understand people, any athlete who just is like, it's a job. Like that's all it is to me. Like if that's your mentality, don't play for the US. I want guys who live and breathe baseball, who love their country, that want to be out there repping it strong, because I don't think we have that right now.
Yeah, and even if I was at like a camp or something like that, and I was playing for a team with a bunch of people that I was never going to see again after that week, I wanted to win.
Yeah, can we force feed them some Herb Brooks? Remind them that name on the front is a heck of a lot more important than the one on the back, because that's what I would like them to play like.
Yeah, so like it's really frustrating to see, and I think we also talked about this. We talked about this again going into or prior to us getting on the air here. We talked about the timing of it too.
Hate it.
Like the fact that it is happening during spring training, I understand it to an extent because you know they're most pitchers aren't fully tuned up to pitch uh like full go during the off season, and most of them don't want to necessarily be like that. They'll throw bullpens or to hit against pitchers that are full go throughout the entire off season. Some of them will, you know, take swings here and there, but a lot of hitters don't even touch a bat during the off season. A lot of pitchers will like throw light bullpens, but they're not like going hard like they're in competition all year. That's the point of spring training, is to get them in that mindset. So like the fact that it's going on during spring training, again, to an extent, I understand it, but I think it would be much better at the end of the year or at the
Yeah.
middle, like in the middle of the year, and giving them a longer All-Star break.
Yeah,
Uh,
I just think the only positive of it right now at this spot is it gets baseball fans hyped for Major League season to start in a couple of weeks. Like that's next week. That's the only positive I see out of the World Baseball Classic being here, is it gets the fans excited for the regular season to start. Other than that, I don't see positives of it being right here.
yeah, and I mean that works too. Like I've been watching a lot of people on ESPN over the past few days that aren't necessarily baseball guys. Like Pat McAfee said, being at the World Baseball Classic or watching the World Baseball Classic was one of the greatest sports environments he had ever seen. Stephen A. Smith said, the World Baseball Classic, specifically this year, got him more excited than baseball had since Reggie Jackson hit 3 home runs in the World Series,
I hate Stephen A. Smith.
which is ridiculous that he is the
Did he
highest
not?
person on
Did he not
ESPN.
watch the '98 home run chase?
He,
Clearly not.
yeah, I mean, I was like I said, it's ridiculous that he's the highest paid guy on ESPN if he doesn't get excited about watching baseball, like ever, because
Can't stand
baseball is
Stephen
one
A.
of the
Smith.
4 like big American leagues, or the one of the 4 big sports leagues.
Let's be for real. As much as I love hockey, it's one of the big 3,
Yeah,
and I would say it's one of the big 2.
it depends on where you put
It's
basketball.
football and baseball. Basketball's behind it.
Well, the hosts that we have for
I don't
basketball
care what they say.
gonna be mad at you for that, but
Don't care. They can talk to me when their league learns how to not load manage and play defense.
yeah, or pay WNBA players $300,000 a year.
That's ridiculous too.
They just because they just won their
Oh my gosh. So the NBA is going to be even paying like triple the amount
yeah.
of a deficit that they were before. Got it. Okay.
Instead of losing 50 million a year, they lose 150 million.
Yeah. Have fun with that.
But yeah, with it being during spring training too, I think Mark DeRosa kind of had his hands tied a little bit because he wasn't able to necessarily make the moves that he wanted to at any given time. He talked about how, or during an interview, I think right after the game, he was like, "I wanted to put Mason Miller in the 9th inning, but the Padres made me promise." Or maybe he didn't say this necessarily, but he said to honor the Padres' wishes, they didn't put Mason Miller in that spot. So instead, they put Garrett Whitlock in. And that, Garrett Whitlock's a good pitcher, but he's not Mason Miller.
And you know what I have to say about that? I don't freaking care. You are playing for your country. Play. If you are on the team, I should be able to use you as I want. Don't put it in the preseason then.
But again,
it's a stupid time. I'm playing to win a World Baseball Classic. This is for your country. Oh no, I'm pitching him 1 inning extra when he would normally pitch back-to-back days for save situations. And I believe he had a day off in between, so he had a day's rest in between. And you're telling me he can't go back out there for 1 more inning? Bull crap.
But again,
I don't care what the team thinks.
You have to listen to the people that are paying.
Okay, and this is the reason why it shouldn't be here. If you have to go, oh, I can't use this pitcher, and this pitcher because their team's going to be mad at me because they want them ready and they haven't pitched in 3 days, don't put it here. We left so many players, not just us, all the countries left so many players at home because either they couldn't get insurance or Bad Bunny volunteered to pay for their insurance and MLB refused to accept it. Or players are like, I don't want to get hurt for the regular season. This wasn't a best on best, and it should be. But because we had it here, it screwed everything up. And you can't play your best on best in the most critical positions. You can't play the best closer in baseball. That's a joke.
Again, I think there will be a level of that regardless, specifically with the pitchers. Like, again, you have to honor the wishes of the people that are actually paying these players because they're not getting paid to play in the World Baseball Classic. I think if Mark DeRosa had his way, Mason Miller would be in that 9th inning, and we probably wouldn't be seeing Nolan McLean start that game.
Like, Nolan McLean shouldn't have been starting that game.
As good as Nolan McLean pitched,
he shouldn't have started it.
He was fine. Tarek Skubal hadn't pitched in how many weeks?
He should have been pitching.
Probably.
You're telling me the greatest pitcher in baseball couldn't pitch again?
Yeah. You want Paul Skeens in that situation in the semifinals against the Dominican Republic, and then you want to be able to give him give the ball to the other Cy Young Award winner from last year, the guy that just won 2 straight, and is probably the best pitcher in the world right now. One of the top 2 best pitchers in the world right now. You want to give that guy the ball in the championship game. And instead, he only got to throw 55 pitches against Great Britain.
Here's the other thing. I don't know that the player didn't do this, but if I'm Mason Miller in this situation, I'm slamming my fist calling down there saying, put me in the game. Like I guarantee players of his status from other countries would have been doing that and saying, I don't care. I am going into this baseball game.
And again, you don't know if he did it or
I
not.
don't know that he didn't. I'm just saying, if I'm him, that's what I want to happen.
But again, it goes back to the teams are in charge.
Don't care.
Because even there was Mad Dog Russo was on First Take today, and from what he was told, the Cubs told Team Venezuela that they weren't allowed to pitch Daniel Palencia in the ninth inning unless it was a save situation. So that might have been what they were that might have even been what they were told with Mason Miller. I don't know. But I'm apparently a lot of teams have that sentiment of you can use our pitchers however much you want, but it has to make sense for us. And
then don't let him play.
And because of that, Daniel Palencia was able to pitch in that ninth inning, and he was able to have that moment because that's a big moment for the Cubs too, having their best pitch or having their closer on the mound to close out the Baseball Classic, striking out Gunnar Henderson. Or was it Gunnar Henderson that struck out, or Roman Anthony?
I don't remember.
I think it was Roman.
I was in the middle of recording when it happened.
Oh. Yeah, I think it was Roman Anthony. But yeah, that's a big moment for the Cubs too. And I don't think the Padres necessarily wanted Mason Miller on the mound there if you have to score another run still to win. And if you don't, then you're using another pitcher in the 10th anyway. Garrett Whitlock's probably coming in that 10th inning anyway. And Team USA was hitting like garbage for every single elimination game, basically. And, you know, that brings me to another point that I have about why Team USA didn't win the World Baseball Classic. If you're a fan of any of these other teams in the World Baseball Classic, by the way, sorry we're not focusing on them, but there is a lot to talk about with Team USA specifically here. Plus, we're American. We're both, you know,
America.
pulling for Team USA throughout that entire thing.
Listen, if any team had to win it that wasn't the U.S., as someone who roots for the Cardinals and the Royals, I was glad to see Salvi and Michael Garcia and formerly Angel Zerpa win it. So good for them. Love me some Salvi.
Wilson Contreras was on the field.
And Contreras, yeah, he was playing first.
He got put in as a defensive replacement for that ninth inning.
Which is hilarious, and I love it.
Who is the starting first baseman for Venezuela?
For Venezuela?
Luis Ariz.
Ariz, yeah, he should not be on the field defensively ever.
But the fact that the guy that's been playing first base for 3 years is...
He's a solid defender.
Defensive replacement's funny. But yeah, another reason why, and I think a pretty glaring reason why after how this World Baseball Classic went, I don't think Mark DeRosa is a great manager. In 2023, I think a lot of people were talking about Mark DeRosa potentially managing his way into a MLB job after that 2023 World Baseball Classic. I mean, he did not make a lot of good decisions. And, you know, there's a lot of talk about, you know, that Italy game and him saying that they had it locked up and that they were getting past pool play regardless. And it almost got them eliminated then. Like, if Mexico would have beat Italy in that last pool play game and a certain amount of runs were scored...
5.
Yeah. USA loses the tiebreaker and they're out in pool play.
Which would have been kind of hilarious. As bad as it would have been, kind of funny.
Yeah, it would have.
Mainly because of his comments.
But, like, I'm looking at this...
It's sad and pathetic.
I'm looking at this box score right now, and Michael Lorenzen is on the mound. They start Paul Goldschmidt over Bryce Harper.
Was it a lefty?
No,
Lorenzen's a righty, so no.
He's a righty. So yeah, they start Goldschmidt over Bryce Harper. They start Will Smith over Cal Raleigh in that game.
So switch hitter instead of a righty on righty. Okay.
Yeah. They have the righty on righty instead of the switch hitter.
Yeah.
And then they start Ernie Clement over Bryce Terang in that game.
Again, Bryce Strang was our best hitter all tournament.
Yeah, he had a OPS. I don't know if this is at this point or throughout the whole tournament, but at that point, his OPS was close to 1,200.
I think he finished with like a 1-0 something
Yeah, and I mean, this
and
is
like a 308 average.
yeah, and granted, these were the numbers after 2 games, but Bryce Trang is also one of the best defensive middle infielders in the game,
He
and he was
might
hitting
be
really
the
well.
best second baseman
Yeah,
defensively.
and he was hitting really well. Like, you don't bench that guy, and if you do, you bench him for Alex Bregman, who didn't play that game. They had
Who played like absolute trash.
still, like, as much as we love Ernie Clement here, and it was a fun postseason run.
It was a fun
together,
ride, man.
you don't bench Bryce Terang in a game that matters for Ernie Clement when you have Alex
Listen,
Bregman,
I'm just saying Alex Bregman hit a buck 43 in this tournament.
and that's fair. But uh, yeah, I mean, that game alone kind of gave me a lot of pause with Mark DeRosa because he then tried to walk back his comments.
Yeah, he did.
Regardless of the reason why you did it, the reason why doesn't matter as much as you did it. You put the team in a worse situation. And they lost that game by 2 runs. So, like, Bryce Harper could have really helped them. Granted, Paul Goldschmidt went 1 for 3 that game, but Ernie Clement went 0 for 2. Will Smith 2 for 4 with a double. So, I mean,
That's a wash mostly.
yeah. So it kind
But you
of,
never know. Cal Raleigh could run into one.
yeah, guy that hit 60 home runs last year.
Should have won an MVP.
So I don't know. I believe the next World Baseball Classic, I just looked at it. I believe the next one's gonna be in 2029.
Well, before we get to that, I have a question because you were just talking about managers here. I was impressed with a couple of managers. And I think both of them, and I want to get your opinion, could very well see soon to be manager roles in the MLB. One, let's start with Venezuela. Omar Lopez. He's a bench coach for the Houston Astros. He's been in their organization since '99. He served as a scout, a bench coach. Obviously, was what he is now, and he was just a regular instructing coach at earlier points in his career. I thought he managed that team really well. I thought he made some really smart pitching decisions in using their bullpen. And then the other one obviously has to be Albert Pujols. The Dominican was fun that he let them be themselves, but he was always serious whenever it came to what was happening. And like, I think both of them could be coming with a manager's job.
And can I just point out how funny fat Albert Pujols with glasses on the top step?
Oh, magnificent. I enjoyed every time they went over to him with his little glasses on.
Yeah, I think the issue there is with Omar Lopez is the fact that he's older than a lot of teams.
Yeah,
that
he is.
Want their first manager to be. I want to say he's in his mid-50s or something like that. I don't know off the top hand. But I think he could be a guy, like, he has the profile of a guy that could be a good big league manager one day, especially considering he's been the bench coach for one of the most successful teams
He
of the last
is.
decade.
He's trying to do math right now, which is difficult. I think he's 49.
Do math right now. Did it not say?
No, it just gives me his birth year.
What year is it?
77.
Okay, so yeah.
So 49.
So yeah, I mean, that he could end up getting a managerial job one day. We know Albert Pujols will.
He's going to be
And Albert Pujols isn't that much younger than Omar
No.
Lopez. He's 46 right now. So if he gets a job next year, he'll be 47. So yeah, I think both of those guys are guys that at some point we could see as a manager one day. It just depends on if there are a lot of eyes on these guys.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing, and that's why I brought that up, is because maybe there weren't a ton of eyes on Omar Lopez, but this is an eye opener. This is where teams are like, oh, he can manage in a postseason type atmosphere in a clutch game. He can make these moves when we're only going to be pitching pitchers for 3 or 4 innings, and we're going to have to use the bullpen repeatedly. He made all the right moves. So maybe this is that eye opener. And I think everyone already had Albert on their, you know, watch list. And I think it's more of where does Albert want to go, not does anyone want Albert. But I think Omar Lopez might have opened up some eyes that were like, this is an option maybe we haven't been thinking about.
I mean, Albert Pujols wanted a job this year and he didn't get it. So,
Yeah, I still don't know how he didn't get a 10-hour interview job.
I mean, it's got to be money, right?
It's got to be money.
Um, yeah, and I even like just went back and looked at the last couple managers that like even the USA has had, and I think the World Baseball Classic is a lot more fun whenever there's guys that are managing that aren't necessarily big league managers that uh, get to show their chops, you know? Because DeRosa was the manager in 23 and 26, but the other years, like Jim Leland managed in 2017,
Jim
and
Leland.
Davey Johnson managed in uh, 2009. 2006 was Buck Martinez, but no one knew what the World Baseball Classic was going to be at that point. That was the first
Yeah.
one, and Buck Martinez was 60 years old already at that point. So
Yeah.
I think having these guys manage that aren't necessarily used to being managers is a fun little wrinkle. You know, Yadier Molino has been the manager the past few years for
Puerto Rico.
I
Yeah,
believe. Oh no, I guess the last World Baseball Classic was the year after he retired, wasn't it?
I believe so.
He retired in 22, right? Yeah. I was thinking he was about managing the World Baseball Classic during his last year.
No, because the last one wasn't that when he had the nasty throw to Baez with the tag,
That was
or was that the
20.
one before?
Yeah,
Okay,
that was
that was
2017.
nasty still.
That was the last one he played in.
And if you guys haven't seen that, go look at it because Baez is tagging him, looking and pointing at Yachty because he just freaking destroyed a runner, as he always does.
How has Puerto Rico
Gosh,
not won one of these things yet?
I don't know. Is it pitching?
I mean, it doesn't help that their best pitcher blew out his knee last year.
Yeah, it
But
does hurt.
because or was it his knee? When Edwin Diaz got hurt when they were celebrating.
Oh, yeah.
Um,
That
yeah,
was
I mean,
bad. That was
I
bad.
I love the World Baseball Classic. I didn't. I was sad that I didn't get to watch as much of it as I'd like to because I was out of town for a lot of it. But uh, it was. I mean, the world. I always have fun with the World Baseball Classic, and
See,
I
and
think.
I'm not as high on it. I
I
have too
mean,
many issues with it. That's my problem. Like when baseball's back in the Olympics this next time around, I will be fully engaged in it. But this when players are whatever, half of them can't play and they're not willing to pitch more than 3 innings, like I'm just
I
It doesn't feel like real baseball to me.
and I think that's why I'm so high on it is because baseball hasn't been in the Olympics over the past few years, and we still don't really know what baseball in the Olympics might look like because it's going to be during the season, so we don't know if
That's
there are
true.
going to be a lot of teams that are willing to let their players play. Uh,
It'll be interesting.
hockey lets their players play because they have been so used.
This was the first time in a while. Is the first time since 2014 that hockey played in the Olympics.
Oh,
That NHL did.
since NHL players did.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, and even then, that's with a
And
sport that they're so used to playing, like having that sport in the Olympics.
yeah, and hockey's one of those that for a lot of years they did not allow NHL players. Then they did for a few Olympics, and then they took it back because it messed with the season. and everyone threw a massive fit about it, and so they finally brought him back this year. But
Well, yeah,
look
the
at
Olympics
this. Look at the success that hockey had in the Olympics this year. Like, look
were
how
awesome,
it was phenomenal. It was the best thing in the Olympics, and
especially when it came down to USA versus
it's
Canada.
what everyone wanted to see.
Like a USA versus Dominican Republic, like gold
or
medal game.
or a USA, Japan, or like any of those big names, whether it's Dominican, Japan, US, Puerto Rico, like it would be so much fun. It would be an insane atmosphere in the Olympics.
Yeah, and I'm scared that it's going to take a while before they allow their players, like before big league teams allow their players to play in the world.
And if that's the case, Japan's just going to win them
Yeah,
because they will let their Japan League players come over and play for the Olympics. They want to win.
I am very interested to see how uh, the collective bargaining agreement coming up is,
It's going to
like
be ugly.
how much of Olympic talk is going to be in there, because Bryce Harper has been one of the most vocal players on the players' side of this whole situation, and Bryce Harper is one of those guys. He hasn't played in a World Baseball Classic up until this year, but he grew up playing for Team USA.
Yeah.
Like he was playing for their U18 team.
Yeah, he was on the circuit.
And he wants to be one of those guys that are representing Team USA, and this might be his only chance to do it. 2028, he's going to be like 36.
Yeah.
So I'm interested to see how much Olympic talk is going to be involved in the collective bargaining agreement. Um, and obviously we've talked ad nauseum about a lot of things that's going to come up during that, but
The shutdown.
yeah. Um,
Thanks,
yeah.
Dodgers.
But yeah, I'm interested to see how that goes. I'm also interested to see, like, I think we both have said that we're both very confident that there's going to be a pretty significant work stoppage after the 2026 season.
Minimum of a year.
I don't necessarily think it's going to be a minimum
of a year.
but I think it will be one of the longer work stoppages we've seen in a long time.
What's the longest?
I mean, 1994. I think
Was it a full year?
No, it was. They stopped the season in August, and then they didn't. They missed about a month, I think, of 95.
Yeah, so, it's going to be longer than that. Minimum of a year.
Yeah. But I'm also interested to see what. I think the Olympics could be that thing that, because there's obviously going to be a drop in interest in baseball.
100%.
After that work stoppage in 94 and 95, there wasn't really excitement for baseball again until the home run race in 98.
Yep. Then the same thing happened with hockey.
Yeah. So I'm interested to see the impact that baseball will have, but the baseball in the Olympics will have on potentially being the thing that makes baseball popular again.
If they let MLB players play, it could be. If they don't, it could be rough for baseball.
But also, you've said it's going to be 2 years.
I said there's real talk that owners have set aside enough money that they can easily go 2 years. And they've said they're willing to do that to get what they want.
Like, if it's
whether it comes down to that or not, I don't know. But I do think it's a minimum of a year. There's no way, with all the stuff that just happened with the MLBPA, what's his name in charge, with all of that and getting a new one, and then with the extreme issues that there are around baseball right now, this is not a quick, easy fix. There is going to have to be give and take, and players have said we are not giving into a salary cap, and owners have said we're not giving in unless we get a salary cap. So I think both sides are going to dig their heels in, and we are in for a long, painful negotiation.
Yeah, my point with bringing that up is if it's a 2-year thing, then
No
there
baseball
still
until
won't be a
then.
there still won't be a collective bargaining agreement come the 28 Olympics,
Yeah.
and that might be a crusher for baseball as a whole.
Or it lets anyone who wants to play in it play.
Uh, they're still under contract with teams, though. I don't
So
know.
if they're on, if there's no season, why couldn't they go play?
Mm, I don't know how that would work.
Unless it's the players are on strike, and then they would, if they're going to play in that, they would have to play in the season. I don't know. There's a lot of red tape that they got to figure out in that, but it's just I'm just preparing for the worst because I don't think it's going to be pretty.
Yeah, I don't necessarily know how that would work. My opinion on how it's gonna go is I think there is going to be some baseball in 2027, but it might look like a COVID 2020
Gross.
type season
Put an
um,
asterisk next to the Dodgers name again.
for their fourth straight.
Yeah,
Uh,
because 2020 doesn't count.
and then, well, I'd say fourth straight because 26 and then 27.
Yeah, because if they don't win this year, that's an absolute joke.
But yeah, I think it's going to look something like that. I think there's going to be a drop in interest in baseball, and then I think the Olympics, if big leaguers are allowed to play in the Olympics, uh, I think that will be what helps again. And if not, then there's going to be a gold medal game between Japan and Cuba, and one of them is going to win.
Maybe the Dominicans got some kids that are coming up looking good.
A bunch of 14-year-olds.
Yeah, just rocking it. Um, yeah, it's I don't know. What could we see college baseball players play? Is ESPN going to start showing college baseball? Are we going to have Sunday night college baseball? Like, what are we going to do during this time?
Are there going to be Olympic red shirts like in wrestling?
No. I'm really interested of what's going to happen because of how it affects contracts. That's what I'm most interested in. What happens to these players under contract? Are they getting paid? Is it just put on hold? What happens if there's a salary cap and now teams are $300 million over salary? Like, this is fascinating to me.
I mean, we have so much time to talk about
I know.
the CBA stuff. I don't necessarily want to get too deep in the woods on that, but
It's
I think whenever it comes to the World Baseball Classic and the Olympics, I think
yeah. You
mentioning
got to
it.
at least think about it.
Yeah. Before we head out of here, I want to talk a little bit about spring training that's going on. Is there anything that you've seen that has surprised you, that's worried you, that's
I'm going to quote you. It's spring training. I don't care.
you haven't paid attention to anything?
Listen, I've talked to you every once in a while about the Cardinals, and you've given me it's spring training. I don't care. But I mean, outside of what's happening in Cardinals camp, I have not paid attention to a lick of what has happened around the league. Not at all.
Yeah, I think the big thing that's jumped out to me,
And
in
I already don't like how they're handling some of the decisions of who's getting sent down and who's staying up already. I can tell you that much.
well, we can have a little bit of Cardinals talk. We can
I
save
don't like that Dick Fitz just got sent down.
we can save that for the end though. But I do
This
want to
is
talk
the end.
About Matt McLean because Matt McLean has definitely had a rough go over the past few years. He had a great rookie year, and then he's been dealing with a lot of injury stuff.
Yes, he has.
And right now, he has an OPS of almost 1,700,
Well, he
and
looks like he's back then.
he's a qualified hitter.
Okay.
And I think that's very interesting for if Matt McLean can be what the Reds are expecting Matt McLean to be, and with all the young players they have, and they just went out and signed Eugenio Suarez, uh, and you know their whole cluster of an infield situation that they already have going on right now. So much so that they're moving Noel V. Marte out to right field. Uh, I think it'll be interesting to see how Terry Francona is going to be able to move those pieces around. But I also think it'll be interesting to see what that does for this Reds team. I don't know how much, if at all, Matt McLean even played last year.
He played some. It just was ugly.
Yeah. So I think if again he's not going to have a 1700 OPS this year, I hope, but if uh if he can come back to form and have an 8 to 900 OPS, maybe even better, that might be a scary thing for the Reds. There are a lot of other guys too. Jordan Lawler has a OPS over 1,000 right now. What are the Diamondbacks doing with him?
Screwing him hard.
Guys like Josh Smith with the Rangers is doing really well. That could be an interesting situation. Can the Rangers bounce back? Max Muncy of the A's is has a fun little dynamic playing on
Yep.
that ballpark that might be just about as easy to hit in as Coors Field.
I mean, there's a couple. I've watched some prospects because that's what I'm more interested in, is seeing some of these prospects. Um, and man, does Kevin McGonigal look good? He might start with the big league team and just skip AAA. He is raking, and is hitting the ball hard, and he's hitting the ball out of the park. So that has been fun to watch. Obviously, here in St. Louis, we've been watching JJ Weatherholt. His fielding does not look good, and that is a little worrisome, but he's been pretty solid at the
He's been
plate.
hitting pretty well.
Yeah, he's been making contact. He's been drawing a lot of walks, so that's been good. But the fielding has to get figured out because he can't DH. He has to play the field. Um, there's been some pleasant surprises in Cardinals camp among some of the outfielders, but they've already sent them down. Pitching, there's been some really good surprises, but again, they just sent them down. Other guys that have been interesting for me for prospect wise, Peyton Tolley with the Red Sox. He looks solid, throws real freaking hard. Same with Carlos LaGrange with the Yankees, hitting triple digits repeatedly. He's 6'7", ginormous, and throws hard as crap. He's looked great. Don't even smile at that. It is unacceptable. You are not one of my seventh graders, so calm it down.
I'm surprised you said it because you're opening a door for
For all of my students. Yeah. But the one thing that I have paid attention to, and I'm absolutely loving every second of it, is the ABS system. I freaking love it. And there was one game within 2 or 3 innings. The batters and catchers went 5 for 5 on the umpires, and it was fantastic. And I enjoyed every second of watching these terrible umpires be put in their place. Also,
you mean them not getting ejected every time they
because they're don't get me started. The softest little pansies in all of the planet. They're softer than freaking NBA players. Calm it down, officials. It's not about you. No one cares. Okay. But just also some of the eyes of these pitchers. Like there was one point, I think it was Tarek Skubal. No, who was it? It was a lefty. He threw a pitch. It went all the way to the bottom right hand corner of the zone, and he tapped his hat, and this catcher was shaking his head violently, like, no, 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 don't do it. And he crushed it. It was beautiful of where he placed it, dotted that corner. So it's fun to watch some of these catchers, hitters, and pitchers just to see the eye that they have. Because some of these have been literally like less than 0.1 centimeters of the plate. Like it's been fun to watch. And I'm sick of it being the ump show. And we're finally getting good called games. And if someone thinks it's blatantly bad, we don't have to worry about it anymore. So I do love the ABS this spring training.
Yeah, and another big thing that I wanted to talk about is the top 2 prospects in baseball currently still. You talked a little bit about one of them, but they're both still at big league camp.
Yes, they are.
Kevin McGonigal has had 3 or 4 years to make a name for himself to get to the second best prospect in all of baseball, and he's 21 years old. I I won't be surprised at all if he ends up making big league camp this year. What are the chances that 19-year-old Connor Griffin makes the big league
Gosh,
camp?
he's trying real freaking hard to do it. I don't think they will. It won't be opening day. He would be one if they want to pull him up, they're going to manipulate time and they'll call him up in a month or whatever it is. I
Yeah.
don't think he makes big league roster opening day. McGonigal, I'm still questioning because I could see them also trying to manipulate time.
Well, right now Connor Griffin has 4 home runs in this. The thing it's really weird about Connor Griffin because he's still at big league camp. He hasn't been hitting much for batting average. He's hitting 194 right now. And I think that's going to be the big thing as to like the big glaring thing that they're like, okay, we can send this guy down. He's been hitting the ball hard. Like
Mm-hmm.
I think he has at least 10 to 15 hard hit balls that are at least 95 miles an hour or better. Uh, like I said, he has 4 home runs and he has an OPS right now of 849. I
So you're
don't.
hitting under a buck 50 with an 849.
Well,
That's great.
I think that really shows to. We've been hearing a lot that batting average doesn't matter. Like it does, just not as much as a lot of old heads really want to make it
Watch your
seem.
mouth.
You don't talk about batting average.
I love batting average.
Okay, well then.
Sign me up for Luis Arise.
Uh, okay, buddy. I'm
He
making
hit
one.
he hit over a 1 dot OPS in the World Baseball Classic, hitting like 320 or something. I'll take I'll take his singles 3 for 4 every single day of the week.
No, he hit 500, I think.
Did he? Even better. He was
Let me
insane.
pull out the
He
roster.
was getting base hits constantly. He never strikes out. I want that guy.
He had a 500 average, but he hit 2 home runs too.
Yeah, good
Like
for
that.
him.
If you get that Luis Ariz, then fine. If you get the Luis Ariz that gets 200 hits at
I don't care if he's
190,
hitting
190 singles,
330. I want him on my team.
I if
Because
I
you
get
don't like base hits, apparently. You
if
want to
I get
watch us lose games because we're feast or famine on home runs. Screw that. Give me old school baseball. Hit the ball, put it in play, make them make a play, get base hits, go base to base, go first to third, score on those plays.
if I get the Twins Luis Ariz, then fine. Like if I get the Luis Ariz that hit 350, okay. I don't want the Luis Ariz that hits singles and then but can't get extra base hits, can't walk, can't run the bases, and can't play defense. And he's going to be playing second base for the Giants this year.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting.
He's not a good a good big league baseball player. But he has
Stick
good
him at first.
bat to ball skills. They can't. They have Rafael Devers.
Put him at DH.
I think they have that filled too. That's why he's playing second base. Anyway, this is not a Luis Ariz conversation. Uh,
Give me batting average all day,
I
baby.
I don't think Connor Griffin makes the team, but I think he's doing exactly what the Pirates want him to be doing. They want to show something that, isn't quite there yet. But
Go back and work on your plate approach. Go back and work on identifying pitches. Learn some plate discipline, and then you've already got the bat speed, the velocity, and probably the launch angle that you need. So figure out those other things, which we say figure out those other things. Some people never do. And that's where you have to be somewhat
Jordan
concerned.
Walker.
Yeah, Jordan Walker. I wasn't going to say it, but thank you. Exactly, Jordan Walker. Except he
Yeah,
doesn't know launch angle.
yeah. Connor Griffin's going to be a problem, and Jordan Walker's going to be a problem for a completely different reason.
Yeah.
Nelson Velasquez.
Surprisingly good. He's making this roster. He's going to be the starting left fielder.
Well, I think it's going to
Or
end up
right
coming
field, I
down
guess.
to they need to have either Nelson Velasquez or Jordan Walker on the team. And
Jordan Walker has an option. Go play in AAA and prove that you can play baseball.
That's the thing. I think they Cardinals might end up sending Jordan Walker down to start the year,
Good.
and
You have earned zero playing time in the majors.
I think it's extremely unfortunate too because obviously you hear he was the number one prospect in all of baseball at one point. After just getting done talking about Connor Griffin, someone that was just in his situation 3 years ago,
And that's why it's
and
scary.
Jordan Walker, people forget at this point, but Jordan Walker had a really good rookie year.
He did. I was
He
at
was,
his game where he hit his first home run.
yeah, he was bad defensively, but he had like close to an 800 OPS his rookie year. I think the issue they had with
Does that remind you of another top Cardinals prospect?
is this a Oscar Taveras
No,
conversation?
no. After that, pry him from my cold dead hands.
Who are you talking
This is a Dylan Carlson
about? Oh,
conversation. Same thing, rookie year. Looked phenomenal. Hit 20 home runs almost, I think, and had a good OPS. Like he looked like a legit dude, and so did Jordan Walker for a little bit.
I forgot Dylan Carlson was that high of a prospect. He was like 20.
Yeah,
He was like 20.
doesn't matter. He was a top prospect.
But we're talking about 1-1 here. Like the top prospect in all of baseball, Jordan Walker was going into the 2023 season. And I think the issue that we're having right now with Jordan Walker is that they sent him down to be a completely different hitter. And I think that messed him up. Like Jordan Walker, for the most part, looked ready when he got up to the big leagues.
Most of like 20 straight games with a hit. Now they were all on the ground. They were singles
But
up the middle,
you would
hit at
rather
105 miles an hour.
you would rather Jordan Walker be a guy that, even though he's 6'6" and 260, you would rather him be a guy that hits 15 to 20 home runs and 40 to 50 doubles
No, for sure.
than what you're getting right now when he has a sub 400 OPS in spring training and has a sub 600 OPS over the past 3 years.
It's ugly. And he's
Um,
not a great defender.
yeah, and so I think it'd be good. I think he's going to be a first baseman at some point if he doesn't play his way out of the big leagues in the next few years. Uh,
So we're going to teach him a new position on top of figuring out how to hit a baseball again.
he's been a third baseman his whole life.
Yeah.
First base is different, but I think even making him a DH, like whatever. But
You got to hit the ball to be a DH.
yeah, like they got to figure something out with him because he's 24 at this point going into this year.
Listen, it doesn't matter. Throw the dude a slider down low out of the zone and he's going to strike out. Like that's what he does.
Yeah, so I think Nelson Velasquez will end up making this team.
Looks
I
good.
think, I think Jordan Walker, this is going to be a make or break year for him. We've been talking forever about it being a make or break year for Nolan Gorman, and he keeps
Him and Walker. It's their last chance.
he keeps
Zero questions.
he's like the cockroach that never dies. That keeps getting other opportunities.
Pretty sure he's hit a few bombs and looked better this
Nolan
spring
Gorman,
training.
whatever mysterious guru that like hitting guru I keep hearing about that Nolan Arenado got Nolan Gorman on.
Give him to Jordan
Get him on
Walker.
get him on the roster. Because Nolan
Surprise!
Gorman,
It's actually just Nolan Arenado.
yeah. But yeah, Nolan Gorman's been looking good. Also, I like you am very sad that Dick Fitz isn't on the opening day roster.
He looked so good. Plus, his name is Dick Fitz,
He's throwing 99.
and he has like a 1.8 ERA.
Yeah, I don't know. Hunter Dobbins isn't healthy, so I don't know.
No, I can tell you, they are announced who it is. Our number 5 is Leahy.
Palante is going to be in there.
Palante's our number 4. Get that trash out of here.
McGreevy is
McGreevy's the 3.
We know Matthew Liberatore is the opening day starter.
Libby's the 1. May's the 2.
Oh, May.
Dustin May.
I guess it makes sense. Get Kyle Leahy in the bullpen.
Get freaking Andre Palante off this roster.
We can give him one more shot.
No.
We can give him one
No.
more. He was so good. He was our best pitcher in 2024. I'll give him one
From
more
the
shot.
no.
No, he was terrible out of the bullpen, and then he had a 3.5 ERA or something like that.
And then he had like a 6 ERA last year. He was so bad.
Well, I'll give him one more shot. But
No, get him out of here. Give me Dick Fitz. Dick Fitz this rotation. Also, please give him number 0 or 69, please. I need this to happen just for the memes.
Are they going to pay Mason Wynn for it?
Dude, I don't care. Just for the memes, I need to see it happen.
Yeah.
If you're the Cardinals, think about this from a marketing standpoint. You get Dick Fitz, the number 69. You know how many jerseys you're selling? Not just to Cardinals fans.
All of them.
All of them. However many you want to make, print them all. They will sell them all.
It's like the little Cal Raleigh baby onesie that I keep seeing on Facebook.
Yes, the big dumper. Yeah. I would buy those if I had another kid. Fingers crossed. No, thank you. I'm good. But if I had another kid, I would get him a for sure a big dumper onesie.
Yeah, I gotta.
Schools would have to make rules that you couldn't wear a Dick Fitz jersey. It would be insane. I'm in. Sign me up.
Well, you're gonna get.
We'll see him at some point.
You're gonna get signed up in June when he's actually on the team. And
yeah.
He has a sub-2 ERA at AAA.
Dude, I'm in.
A Dick Fitz Cy Young season.
Oh. You get me too excited now. I'm gonna need you to calm it down.
That's not gonna happen. He'll be another 4 ERA pitcher, but it'll be a fun time while he does it.
I'm gonna enjoy every start no matter what. Like, even if he's as bad as Palante, at least his name is Dick Fitz, and that'll make me happy.
We need to end this podcast.
So many jokes are coming this year. So many.
I think that's why they don't want to see us succeed. The Cardinals know about our podcast. They don't want to see us succeed. And so they had to send Dick Fitz down to AAA.
Gosh. Yeah, those two are going to come up. Palante and Leahy will go to the bullpen and to DFA land. And it'll make me happy.
And then we got Quinn Matthews, too.
Yeah. And a bunch of other guys that aren't good anymore.
Eshawn Henderson.
Yeah, he's okay still. Liam Doyle.
We'll call it there. Let us know what you guys think about the World Baseball Classic. And
what format do you want to see of this? Like, where do you want it? How do you want it?
Or is the Olympics just the best format?
Or scrap it and just have the Olympics now that it's back.
And also let us know what you've seen about your favorite team in spring training.
Catch us up.
We're a week away from the regular season, a little bit over that. So we're going to have a lot more stuff to talk about, and we're going to have to figure out a way to talk about it to where it's not 2 hours like our past, like the end of the regular season.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Be sure to follow us on all of our socials. They're in the description, or in the description. Use code athletes at 10% off at W Energy.
Need some right now.
I mean, it's
struggling.
11 o'clock.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, we're, like I've been saying this whole time, we're going to continue to try and make everything better. But your support is greatly appreciated in order for us to be able to do that. So thank you guys for watching, and we will see you guys next time.
See ya.